podcast is now storefront mode.
Hello and good afternoon. Thank you for joining us today on this webinar for Klipboard Rental, part of the rental webinar series. This is all around setting up your 24/7 Hiredesk with Klipboard eCommerce. I'm the sales director here at Klipboard Rental, and joining me today is North Green, who is a technical account manager, and he'll be going through the demonstration phase of the session today. So just a little bit of housekeeping before we get going. This webinar will be no longer than 40 minutes long, so don't worry, we're not going to eat into too much of your day. You're on mute throughout the duration of this webinar, but you can ask questions. There should be a questions panel on the GoToWebinar panel that you've joined. Please use that, or the chat box. I'll make sure that's monitored throughout the session. We'll answer any or as many questions as we can at the end of the session, back to you on a one-to-one basis once it is finished. So just a little bit on the agenda for today. Obviously, we're going to introduce e-commerce and what that is. A lot of you will have versions of e-commerce now, but we'll go through what that means from a Klipboard e-commerce perspective. We'll talk about the rental specific capabilities and benefits, and obviously some of that involves integration. Some of those products you can see on the right-hand side. There'll be a demonstration portion of the session, which will take up around 20 minutes. And then we'll just summarize what we've gone through and discuss any potential next steps. So just a quick introduction to e-commerce. I mean, what is e-commerce? I think most people have an idea or will be utilizing e-commerce in some way, but essentially it's an online shop for your rental customers. It could be replacing something you have today. It could be you've only got an information site or a catalog site. So it could be replacing a legacy platform, but essentially it's going to enable those digital bookings, payments, online 24/7 without someone manning that information. And why does that matter? I think, you know, it's quite clear in today's age that people expect to have this information at their fingertips at all times. So it helps with the reach into your customer base, but it simplifies operations and improves that customer experience. And at the end of the day, that's what this is all about. We're trying to improve that customer experience, which in turn creates more revenue for yourselves. And obviously the way that works is we integrate that into your rental ERP to make that seamless as well. So what do we give you as part of e-commerce? How do we support your business? Obviously it's all branded in your logos, your colors, but it's really simple to control. It's designed for the everyday user to be able to have e-commerce in their business and not need an expert to run that part Data don't just start and a million people hit the platform. It will scale with you as you grow and give that to more customers and have a bigger reach. But you get all the data, all the insights at the back end of it, and obviously you can take those payments seamlessly and integrated via our new Klipboard Money platform, which we'll touch on a little bit through today's session. So part of the process, obviously, when you go onto our e-commerce platform is, this is a little bit of a taste, but they'll come on and they'll want to be looking for a type of product. So they'll have ways that they can search the products, either look at trending or go through a catalog, and then they'll click into it and they can choose what hire period they want to quote for. They can look at the hire rates and day rates that are on offer, and they can actually go all the way through to reserving, making that payment. That could be Apple Pay, Google Pay, Pay by Bank. Klipboard Money accepts all forms of transactions, and that'll flow all the way through, obviously, to an order for the customer. But then via that integration, that'll then hit your on-rent platform, maybe via a smart view pod, and then into the actual order itself for you to be able to fulfill it. So it's a really nice process. It's all integrated and it's all ready to go. Obviously, this is a rental-specific e-commerce platform. And what does that mean? So just some quick highlights. Product attachments. You can attach manuals, guides, videos to all your product listings. We have a complete matrix around delivery charges. You can customize this by your regions, your different product types, or your schedules. You've got full customability there. We give you all of the data at the back end, all of the sales analytics, all of the trends, track that performance. And we give you the ability to use admin messages to send targeted updates to your customers, so you can push promotions or send key messages to those accounts. We could also give you, as I mentioned, that static page editor, because this is designed for the everyday user. You don't have to be a technical whiz to be able to implement e-commerce into your business. You can build your own pages for FAQs, for your terms and conditions, for your service areas. You can build all of that yourself. And then we've got a nice review feature built in as well, so your customers can actually give feedback and you can boost trust between yourself and the customer. So just some real key highlights there, a quick overview, but it just gives you an idea that we're really targeting this to be a rental-specific solution of e-commerce that's fully integrated and easy for you to deploy. So that's probably enough of me speaking. And what I'm going to do now is hand you over to my colleague, North, and he's going to take you through a live demonstration of the e-commerce platform. Please do ask questions as we go along. The more questions, the better. So don't be shy. Please use the questions panel to ask that as we go through. But for now, North, I'll hand over to you.
Thanks, Jason. Appreciate that. So yeah, as Jason mentioned, my name's North. I'm the technical account manager here at Klipboard for the rental division, and I'm going to be showing you through the e-commerce platform. So in front of me now is the e-commerce platform. I'm going to show you two different ways of it looking, so if it does change, don't panic, it's on purpose. We'll go through a couple of different scenarios and how your customers can interact with it and how you can interact with it as well. Okay, so a bit of background about e-commerce. It's meant to be either a website replacement or it can be an addition to your existing environment. But essentially what it will do is it will provide a new channel for your customers to interact with your business. And like Jason said, it is going to be a 24/7 avenue for you, and we can look at what that looks like in reality. Okay, so what we want to do first of all is take a look at, like Jason said, the simplicity of the web page. So you can see here, if I look across the top, you can see all of the different types of products that my particular company is pulling from my on-rent product essentially. So if you're familiar with this product structure, you can see that the generic is plant. If we want to go more specific, it's excavators. And then we've got all our different types of excavators as well. And this is across the system. So the beauty of it is that in your office system or in your on-rent system, you can choose whether or not these items display in the e-commerce platform, because some of them might be really specialist, so you might still want customers to call up, but what we really want to do is push them towards using this environment to free up your Hiredesk team, the admin team, and the sales team as well. And the beauty of this is you can see here that at the top any sales items are specifically denoted as sales. You could categorize that to however you want, and all of that displays here, and it pulls directly from your on-rent system. If I scroll down a little bit, you can see Jason briefly touched on it earlier, the trending tab, and this is something you guys can this. You don't need to use third-party IT to set this up and configure it. It's really, really simple, and I'll quickly show you how it works. So you can see mine looks slightly different. There's a big green box here. That's because I'm in the admin mode of the e-commerce platform. So if I hover over one of these boxes, you can see it goes slightly translucent, and I get two options in the top right here. So if I click on this blue box here with the pencil, it gives me the option to amend this box. I can change the text here, so you can see it says hire now, and it says hire now there. So if I wanted to change it to something like shop now, I can change the background, the links, the subtitles, the actual tile and everything. I can change the pictures if I get new stock. So if I click save changes there, it will lock that in. I can also click on this green box here and just simply type it in. It's as easy as just picking the file, typing it in, and adding that to the system, okay? One of the other things I want to briefly touch on is the latest offers, and that works exactly the same as what we've just run through there. These offers are driven by you guys. So if you're using your on-rent system to look at maybe some slow-moving stock and you want to draw special attention to those, you can create these latest offers that will push your customers to interact with that slow-moving stock. Maybe you've got a discount towards your customers, you can do that here. So if I click on this, again, you can just, it's as simple as typing into these boxes here. So if I wanted to, I could increase the discount, I can change the image, make it more eye-grabbing, I can change the names. If I find that there's maybe not as many people interacting with it as what I would want, I can start to choose how that looks essentially, okay? And then the last thing at the bottom here is I can see my best sellers, and I'm going to touch on how it pulls information from your system as well. So you can see at the bottom here, you know, we're selling a lot of PPE, operators manuals, sets of keys, cylinders. You can choose whether or not it displays the quantity in the stock, and I'll show you what that looks like when it doesn't. It just says in stock, but you can see here it tells you prices as well. Okay, so what we don't want with hire items is to show that it's not in stock. Hire items will always show as in stock, so then you guys can push your customers towards raising that hire contract, okay? One of the other things I want to point out at the bottom here is all of the web page functionality. You know, you can have your T's and C's linked at the bottom, your website, any social media hot buttons at the bottom, and then again, you can push your customers towards those specific things you're looking for. So here you've got special offers, clearance, and summer sale, and everything like that, okay? What we want to do now is start to look at how it might look for your customers to interact with e-commerce, okay? So in this scenario, I'm going to be an account customer. You can see at the top here, I'm logged in. I could look at any wish lists, my previous orders, my details and things like that. But for now, what I want to do is just request a hire from the e-commerce solution. So, you know, in this scenario, maybe I'm looking at renovating my garden and I've got a particularly big garden. So I want to hire an excavator to start digging up that turf. I can just come to plant. I'm not quite sure what kind of excavator I want, so I'm going to click view all and I can start to have a look at these excavators. In this case, you know, it's a big garden, but it's not that big, so I might click on a small excavator here, and that'll take me to all of the small excavators that are available within my system, okay? Like I said, my garden's medium sized, so I might want to go with a 3-ton excavator. So I'm going to click view on that, and I'm going to drill into this particular product, okay? And this is where I can start to put in some higher details. All of my account information is stored against the account that I've made here. So as I'm logged in as a trade account, all that information, contact details and stuff is going to push through automatically, okay? So you can see here, it tells me the price. I can select the hire period. So if I click on today and drag that across, you can start to see it select the date essentially. In this case, I just want the hire from today until next Thursday and click apply. I can change the quantity. I can choose to click and collect it or deliver it. I'm not sure I have the functionality to click and collect the excavator, so I'm going to click on delivery, okay? And what that's going to do, it's going to push it through to my basket. But first of all, we need to select our accessories. These are accessories pulled directly from my on-rent system. So obviously we've got our mandatory accessories like fuel, sets of keys, operators manuals, and then at the bottom here we've got our optional accessories. So in this case, you know, I can choose what size bucket I want. In this case, I want a 36 bucket, so I'm going to add that to my basket, and that's going to be my hire order, at least to my knowledge. Okay, so once that's added to my basket, it takes me directly there and gives me an overview of what I've got in store. One of the things to point out is that for hires, you don't pay at the point of booking the hire, because we don't want to agree with the customer that the hire can go ahead before we get all the fine details down. And I'll show you what that looks like in the office system. Okay, so here you can see we can add any notes. So I might put like, please call me back on this number here. And then that'll push through to our office system, okay? So if I click save on that, that'll save against our order, and then I can just choose, again, I can choose whether or not I want to have a delivery or collection. In this case, I'm going to stick with delivery, and I'm happy with these prices here, okay? What I can do then is I can click checkout, and it will take the address selection. So in this case, I need to select my billing address. So what I'll do is I'll just use my standard account address. Any address that you use in the system will be saved. If you've got a big list of different sites you send it to, these will be stored against your account in the e-commerce system. And then again here, I've got a different address I want to send the excavator to, so I'm going to send that there rather than to head office, because again, I don't have that facility to deliver my. See that it gives you an overview of your order. Essentially, it does say, you know, please make sure that you review everything. You'll be contacted once placing a reservation, because we might need to just check that site is accessible and stuff. So yeah, there's a lot of opportunities for you guys to have a lot of control over this process as well. And lastly, you can see here that you've got special instructions. So here you could put like, please call Gavin to ensure site is open, or something like that, okay? And then I might put a phone number in here, okay? And that'll push through. Again, if you're an account customer and you use the e-commerce solution of this quite a lot, you can put any order number in here. So I might just put PO134 MD for Mini Digger, and then I can just click place order. And what that'll do is that'll send that across to the on-rent system, and that will load as a quote, because we want to finalize the details ourselves and not give the customer that power to just book out our hire equipment willy-nilly, okay? So one of the things to note is that you get an order reference directly, directly once you finish the order. As well as that, you get a email confirmation as well. So it'll say like, you know, dear North, thank you very much for your order. Here it is, and it gives you a summary. And you can see here my special instructions, any notes I added against the product, and that pushes directly into the on-rent system. Okay. What I'll do next is I'll show you a sales scenario, which will work slightly differently because we'll be able to take payments against the items. So if I jump to my other e-commerce solution, you can see it learned views here. You can have spinning images on the branches, branch finder. You can have all of this stuff. And again, at the bottom here, you can see that it doesn't do the stock quantity, because we just want the customers to start placing orders against it, and we can sort out the fine details after they place the order. Okay, so if you know we've got a particular thing we want to push, we can push that towards the customers. Okay, in this case, what I'll do is I will quickly log out and then log back in and show you. So one of the things to note is that when you enter the e-commerce solution, you can have admin messages show up here. So, you know, it's like, here's our cookies policy, you must accept it, cookie settings and stuff like that. So it's a proper website replacement, or addition to your existing environment. So if I just click accept, that'll allow me to browse the website. And part of the reason I logged out is because you don't have to have an account to interact with the e-commerce solution. Okay, so I'm currently browsing as a guest. You know, I might just be looking for some PPE for personal reasons because I might be renovating my kitchen or something like that. In this case, you know, I need some gloves because I'm pulling up some tiles and things like that. You can see there's two different types of gloves. I could click into these particular gloves, start to look at them, look at any, you know, look at what they're suitable for and things like that. What we want to do is add these to our basket. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll just add two different types so you can see what it looks like. If I click on delivery, you can see that's added to my basket up there. In to do is just view my basket. Maybe I want quite a few gloves because I've got a couple of people coming over to help me pull up the tiles. In this case, you know, this will be a perfect amount of gloves. I could add any notes if I really wanted to. I could choose whether I want to deliver or get it click and collected. If I was to choose click and collect, it will allow me to select the branch that I'm collecting from. So obviously, you know, if we're a national company, we can choose, the customer can choose the branch most relevant for them. Okay, one of the things we'll do today though is we'll just get it delivered because I'm feeling a little bit lazy. You can see at the bottom here you've got your terms and conditions, and as well the terms and conditions is hyperlinked, so you can click on that so customers understand what they're agreeing to when they check out the basket essentially. If I click checkout here, this will take me to a screen where I can either log into my account, I can sign up as a new customer, or if I don't want to, I can check out as a guest. And this is important for you guys because not everyone will want an account. It might just be Joe Bloggs down the street. But what it will allow you to do is you create that guest checkout and you capture their email address. So you'll be able to see if they're buying from you regularly, and then you might be able to sign them up for a trade account. But in this case, what we'll do is we'll log into my account, okay? And that'll take me back to the home screen, but all I need to do is click View Basket, agree to the terms and conditions, and click Checkout. Okay, again, we need to select the delivery address and the billing address. In this case, I'm going to click use the same address for both. So if I click use, it takes me to my order. And this is my summary overview. Again, I can put any special instructions here. I'll just put this here, and I can put any PO if I really want to. And this is where we come to our integrated payment processor, Klipboard Money, and this will feed directly into your on-rent system. So what I can do is I can click, I want to pay by Klipboard Money, click Pay Now, and this starts to take me through the Klipboard Money process, okay? Like Jason said earlier, it accepts all major payment facilities, Apple, Google Pay, it accepts any bank card, and then as well it also accepts pay by bank. Okay, it tells you what you're paying up here. So in this case, I'm just going to populate my card details. If you take in note of my card details, that is a test account, I'm sorry, but save you paper. But yeah, what we've done is we've populated our card details, we've populated our billing address, and then we're going to pay. Okay, so click pay, it asks me to verify the payment. I'm going to do that. Click OK. And it's as easy as that. So once that payment is generated, it will raise in your on-rent system, and it will tell you the reference, the time it was sent, and the time it was raised, and the time the payment was completed as well. Okay, so at this point, you'll get a you know, your reference number here, and you'll get your email confirmation that the order was successful. Obviously, if it wasn't, or if there was an issue, it will be able to tell you, and you'll be able to call the customer should there be an issue. But basically, that's it. We've got these gloves to prep, and we can start to think about delivering those to the customer. So with that, what I'll do is I'll quickly jump into my on-rent system, and I'll show you what that looks like when these two orders hit your on-rent system, okay? So with that, if I come down here, make this slightly bigger, you can see here that this is my SmartView pods. You can see that there are a couple of pods here that are to do with Web Pro. You can see here we've got hire contracts, we've got new hire reservation requests, new WebPro guest sales order, and these all hold different statuses within the system. So like I said earlier, hire reservation requests come through into your system as quotes, because we don't want the customer creating contracts and depleting our stock of hire items. You can filter it by like when the item was raised. So if I right click on this, I can right click amend contract, and that'll bring up my contract, and I'll be able to start drilling into this. So you can see here, it's in the estimate state. So I could choose any particular mini digger. If I didn't have that particular type, I could call the customer and say, look, would a 1.5 ton mini digger do? And I can start to get that processed. But it takes away from needing to be on the phone with the customer, back and forth email chains. So it's a much smoother process, okay? One of the other things I want to point out, if I just save this down, is the sales tab as well. Okay, so again, you can see that we've got all of our guest sales orders. Some of these they might need accounts assigning, some of them they might not. But in this case, what we'll do is we'll just come into our latest one, click amend order, and here it is. Okay, so this is our sales order. So it's already selected whatever the PPE is, and then as well you can see under memo field here, it pulls through that those special instructions that were entered on the tab. There's a whole host of functionality about how you can break down sales orders to make it easier for your hire people to process as well. The amount of notes you can add in the basket pull through to the system, okay? The last thing I want to show before I stop talking and we move on to the Q&A is drilling into the products. So one of the things I skipped over very briefly was looking into the mini digger itself. So if I come into my small excavator here, and I look into my 3-ton excavator, you can see all of those hire rates against the item, so customers can get a good idea of what we're going to charge them. You can look to obscure them if you wanted to, but a lot of customers nowadays want to know exactly what they're getting and how much and how long for. Before you even interact with the item and add it to your basket, you can see all of those accessories that we went through earlier. We can see any additional accessories. And then lastly, we can also ask questions as well. So it allows you to have a bit of an open forum to say, like, would this digger be suitable for, you know, road work and stuff like that? You can choose whether or not these are allowed or not, so you can vet them before they show up on the website. One of the last things to look at is the product attributes, and again, this all pulls through from your on-rent system. So if you're populating this information within your on-rent system, you can choose whether or not it pulls through to the e-commerce solution. And lastly, you can have product reviews as well. So here, obviously, you've got a 5-star review for our excavator, and then we can choose whether or not we want to write a new one. And similar to the questions field, you can choose whether or not these are approved. Okay, so essentially, going back to how I started the presentation, is that all of this is easily configurable, and it puts all of this config in your hands, so you're able to avoid interacting with third parties, interacting with technical people. You can just click on boxes, type it in, and it will be there, and that's how it will work for your customers as well. Okay, and I think with that, that might be enough of me talking at everyone, and it might be time for the Q&A.
Perfect, thanks for that, Norv, much appreciated. I could tell that was a demo site because they left you a 5-star review there, I saw. So moving on to
I thought it was very accurate.
Moving on to the questions, just a handful just to cover off, North, at the end, if you don't mind.
Sure.
So the first one, nice simple one. Does it work on mobile devices and tablets, that sort of thing?
Yes, is the answer. Your customers can log into, you go visit your e-commerce, the Klipboard e-commerce solution, process orders, change their details and all that stuff. And then you can also look at the sales analytics as well on the e-commerce mobile tablet as well.
Okay. Great, so that's fully functional across any device, so that's brilliant. In terms of our other product, Web Portal, someone's asked if they have that. Do they link together?
Yes, yeah, they do. They link flawlessly. It basically, if in this scenario, the customer might be an account customer, so basically what they can do is place an order in e-commerce, and that will push directly into OnRent, and then that will push to Web Portal. So once they've placed that hire request and it's been processed by the hire team, it will show up in their contracts under Web Portal, and they'll also be able to see any documents highlighted against that.
Okay, great. We've had another question come in, North. I'll throw it at you, but I don't know if you can answer it on the fly. But in terms of the way the data is communicated back and forth between the e-commerce platform and OnRent, is that via an API or is that via a different method?
I believe it's through our native API. I'll need to double check that. So if we take down who asked it, we can check it. But basically, it's through our API. So all of that data that's updated in the OnRent product essentially pushes through to e-commerce. It's anything you put in there that you choose to display on the e-commerce product will push through to from the OnRent system.
Great, and we'll try and embellish that with a few more details afterwards, and just follow that one up. I've got one here just about how updates and downtime are handled as well, North.
Yeah, so the e-commerce product is basically, it's an out-of-the-box solution. So once it's up and running, there shouldn't be any downtime. Updates are pushed through live as we deploy them. So, you know, we'll basically have like a little newsletter. Part of the admin screen lets you know what the new features are when they're updated. So yeah, there's no downtime, and updates are done dynamically when they're pushed live, so updates don't incur downtime.
Perfect. And last but not least, just got one here around how the support procedure works. Is it a separate support team? Is it the same support process they have now? How does that work?
Yeah, that's a good question. It's the same support process as your OnRent product. So you use the standard lines of communication. So that's the help desk, that's our customer advice team, and then if it needs escalating, that can also be the account managers as well. But the first point of call is your standard help desk, and they'll be able to triage and turn it around as quickly as possible.
Perfect. Thanks for that, North. There was another question. We'll cover that off separately in a minute. I think my next slide might help with that. But someone's just asked around the back end of the website in terms of the design, and is there the capability to customize it, the product templates, the layouts, etc. But obviously that's quite detailed for this session, but I'll go through what you can do as a next step in a moment's time.
Yeah, so I'll move to the next slide, and I guess I'll let you answer that.
Yeah, perfect. Thanks, Dorf. So just to summarise, this is available today. This is something that's out there in the marketplace. It's an ever-evolving roadmap, so exciting times ahead for this product. It's only going to evolve and improve. It already integrates with our OnRent products. It already integrates with Klipboard Money for seamless integrated payments. So it really is ready to go. It is industry-specific design. There are different designs for different verticals. You do have the ability to customize the look, the layout, and the feel of this product. And it is out-of-the-box functionality in terms of the fact that it is integrated. It's going to pull that information back and forth between the products. It really is a solution that's there today and is ready to have dedicated support. We cover all the security, and it's something that you can plug into your business now. But in terms of next steps and what that may look like, that's what I want to cover off next. So in answer to that last question a little bit, what we are doing as part of this push is we are offering 30-minute e-commerce business reviews of your existing setups. This should just be via Teams, and that's where we can dig into the detail of showing you all of the back end of Klipboard e-commerce, as well as obviously reviewing your specific requirements as a business. So that last question around, be great to see the back end and how customizable it is. If you just get in touch, we'll book you in for that 30-minute session, and we can really, really dive into that. We can also showcase how we can combine Web Portal and Web Pro, or now known as eCommerce. So we can showcase that as part of that 30-minute business review. There are discounts available on the eCommerce platform until the end of October for people that registered this webinar. So if you are interested, do get in touch. And my email address is at the bottom there, which is jason.bradshaw@klipboard.com. If you want any more information, you want to register for a 30-minute business review, or you just want some more content sending over, please do get in touch after this webinar, and we'll be more than happy to help you out. So that's it for today. I'll leave that on screen just for a few more seconds. But other than that, please get in touch with any further questions. Thank you for joining today. Thank you, North, for going through that demonstration. And it was great for you all to join, and we hope to speak to you very soon. Thank you, everyone.